morning. I know that I usually start my vlogs on Tuesdays, but it is Monday. And we kind of have a weird week because last night, Bastion got really sick. I don't know if like really sick, so he threw up though. And Bastion doesn't usually throw up. He's honestly a kid, like he doesn't get sick very often. So when he does get sick, it's kind of like unnerving. So he threw up a few times last night and I got no sleep. Told the babysitter not to come today. And the boys are just watching TV upstairs on the couch, and that is what we are going to be doing most of the day. I kind of am like alternating between tidying things up and then like running upstairs and cuddling for a minute, making sure they're good. Something incredibly unfortunate happened today, and that is that Rosen woke up at 5 a.m., which on its own is already sad. However, somehow in the 2 hours that I laid with him in his bed and cuddled him and tried to convince him that he should go back to bed, I managed to hurt my knee, like really badly. And I don't know how. Okay, so this happens probably at least once every I get this at least once every 6 months, where my left kneecap just kind of feels like it shifted, if that makes sense. And it takes a few days before like the pain goes away and like my knee feels normal again. The first time this happened was when I was pregnant with Bastion and I sat cross-legged too long and like my knee just kind of hurt. So I was icing it this morning. I canceled my yoga class because there's just no way, like it hurts to walk. Obviously I was like, okay, hurts to walk, not gonna go to yoga. What should I do? Go run errands. Now that I'm sitting in the parking lot of Lowe's, I'm realizing that this is a stupid idea, but I'm gonna do it anyway because I'm here and I'm sad that I'm missing yoga. So I took 4 ibuprofen. My second stop after Lowe's is to go get a knee brace so I can walk around with slightly less discomfort, hopefully. So when I went to Lowe's earlier, I got paint samples because do you see up there, when we first painted, when we moved into the house, we did not tape off the ceilings, and therefore we got paint on the ceilings. So I am finally, yesterday I was like, okay, I'm gonna touch up the paint. Seth and I have been talking about it for so long, about like touching up all of the paint upstairs, and I grabbed the white that we have and it does not match the white on the ceiling because we didn't paint it, so I don't know what the white is, and I just had like a basic like flat white. I picked up these two that are both a little bit warmer, and I'm really hoping that one of these is it, or like close enough that you can't tell, you know? Okay, it's definitely gonna need a second coat, but it is looking so much better. I did change my clothes. I was watching back last week's vlog as I was editing it and realized that there was a day that I put a sweater on, like right before I left the house. I got paint in my hair and I just showered. There was a day where I put a sweater on. Wow, that's a lot of paint. I put a sweater on right before leaving the house in the evening and then put it on again the next morning and wore it all day. And I didn't like immediately specify anything, and so I realized as I was watching it back that it was a little bit confusing because I changed my clothes a lot. I feel like not that this is even remotely interesting to talk about or hear about, but I change my clothes, I feel like, multiple times a day, because sometimes like I've learned that this is an ADHD thing, that like I get really overwhelmed with temperatures. So like I get really overstimulated easily with not only temperatures, but also like the feeling and texture of clothing. And so I will like start the day wearing something really warm, and then like 20 minutes later, I'll be like, no, this is way too hot. I have to switch into a tank top. So I take off the sweater, and then later, like I put the sweater back on, and then I like change, like if I go to yoga, and then I usually wear something different when I come home. I feel like I am constantly changing my clothes back and forth. Like if I wear leggings or like tight pants for more than like 3 or 4 hours, I feel like I'm going to go insane. Like watching vlogs back, you can't even necessarily tell what day it is just based on what I'm wearing because I change my clothes so often. But I will do that if I put a pair of clothes on like right before bed and I don't really wear it at all, then the next day I'll wear it again because I want it to actually be dirty before I wash it. Would you guys believe me if I told you that it's already Thursday? because it is. I did not record anything at all yesterday because Sebastian has been sick on and off for the last like week and a half. And it's been like cold symptoms, right? Everyone has a cold right now. I've got a cold. Seth's got a cold. Almost everyone I know has had a cold recently or has one right now. Like just everyone has one, which is weird because it's like the first time in 2 years that anyone's been sick. Not anyone. You guys know what I mean. It just feels weird to like have not been, like I haven't had a cold since before COVID, and now all of a sudden I have a cold and it's like the end of the world to me. And he's had, in conjunction with the cold symptoms, he's had a fever, but it's been, again, on and off, and for the most part, it's been like low grade, like under 100.3. A few times it's been higher than that, but we get it down easily. However, the longer that this has gone on, the more stressed out I get because he is sick. So yesterday morning, I was talking to Seth and I was like, I'm really worried that maybe he has COVID because he's not vaccinated. He's only 4. He can't get vaccinated until next year. And I was like, what if we all have COVID, but because Seth and I are vaccinated, we're having such mild symptoms, but our kids have COVID. So I like really freaked myself out and was like, Bastion definitely has COVID. I was so stressed. So literally 5 minutes before she was supposed to get to our house, I called the babysitter and was like, don't come, I think Bastion has COVID. Had my therapy appointment yesterday morning, and then immediately after, Seth went to the store and picked up a bunch of at-home COVID tests. And we tested Seth and his came back negative, and then we tested Bastion. And we kind of figured if Bastion's is negative, then like probably all of us are negative because Bastion's got the worst symptoms. That was one of the hardest things as a mom, to hold my son down while Seth had to swab his nose, but it came back negative. So Bastion does not have COVID, but because of that, I just did not record it all yesterday because we were just dealing with how sad and cranky he was and sick, and just making sure that we stayed really consistent on his medicine schedule because I just am really bad at it. Like I'll give him cold medicine in the morning and then I forget until the next day. So, anyway, that is my life update. I feel like shit today. I have the worst headache. My knee still hurts. But I'm at my nail appointment. And guess who forgot to find a new nail tech? It was me. So we'll see how it goes today. This is what we're working with right now. The other hand's worse. Using acetone to get paint off of our windows, and it obviously ruined my nails a little bit. So I have a few minutes before my appointment starts. I have to pick out a design and I will update you. Okay, this is what we ended up getting. Literally just, man, the camera's really struggling. Just like a matte dark green, but her matte, I feel like the matte the matte coat she puts on it doesn't last very long and it's not very matte. Plus they turned out way darker than I wanted. It's fine, but I've learned my lesson, and I texted a friend who does nails. She lives much further away than I'd like to drive, but it will give me a good reason to be in Utah County to drop off Seth's film, because the place we take our film to get developed is in Utah County. So I figure, yes, I hate the drive. Yes, it will end up taking my entire day up, but it will give me a reason to go down there and drop off film and pick up negatives every few weeks. So like I'm trying to talk myself out of it, but I just don't want to keep going. And like I asked her for a specific design and she's like, I can't do that. And I was like, okay, we'll just do this then, just plain. Which is fine. I appreciate having nails, but if I'm going to be paying money for something, I want to be paying for something I like. Anyway, now I'm just working. I just started working on a new project that I'm going to hopefully release within the next few months, and I'm very excited about. So that is what the rest of my work schedule looks like today. Okay, here is the too long didn't read for the rest of the weekend. I am editing this last week's vlog right now and basically cut off on Friday. And the reason for that is So again, Reader's Digest version, Seth got in a car accident on Friday. And he's okay, but it really shook us up. It really shook me up. It was a pretty bad accident, and he was lucky to walk away without being more than minorly hurt. But because of that, we really just did not do anything worth filming over the weekend. We really just spent time at home. We went grabbed some food. We really just kind of like tried to reset and prepare for the next week. So I apologize that this week's vlog was relatively bland and that we just really didn't do a lot. It was a very stressful, hectic week medically. But hopefully this next week is a lot better. So thank you for watching, and remember to subscribe.